Okay, today we're going to talk about present tense verbs and how they have to agree with the subject pronoun. Okay, so when we talk about a present tense verb, remember a verb is an action word, and we're talking about the subject pronoun, that's that word that takes the place of a noun. We're going to add an S or an ES to most of the present tense action verbs when we use the singular pronouns like he, she, or it. And then if we use the pronouns that are plural, like we, you, they, we are not going to add the S or the ES to the verb. Also, if we use I or you as a singular, you meaning just one you, not you as a whole bunch of people, if we use I or you as singular, then we also do not put an S or ES. So let's look at some examples. In this sentence, we're either going to use like with no S on it or likes with an S on it. We have to choose the correct one that agrees with our subject pronoun, which is I. Now remember, when we use I, that means that we're not going to put an S or an ES. So we would use like. I like career day at school. If I said I likes career day at school, doesn't sound right. We need to know that when we use I, we do not put an S on that verb. So we're going to circle like, and I'm going to write it on the line over here. So I'm going to use my type tool because it's very difficult to write with that pencil. Move it up a little bit, and we're going to put in like. Now let's go to number 2. Our subject pronoun is we. Now remember, if we have a plural, we is more than one, so it's plural. We are not going to put an S or an ES. So for this one, we're either going to use here or hears. And since we is plural, we do not put the S on the end, so we would use here. So over here, get it? Over here, that's a different here. Over here, we're going to write in HEAR for the one without the S. Now let's read the sentence. We hear speakers like Mr. Jace talk about their jobs. So that makes sense. If we were to say we hears speakers like Mr. Jace, that doesn't sound right. So if it's a singular I or you, we don't put an S on the end. And if it's plural, we, they, we do not put an S on the end. Let me circle that one. Now let's go to a singular one. So if we have the singular he, that means there's only one. Singular means one. We would add an S or an ES. So if it's a singular pronoun, we're going to add the S or the ES to the verb. So we have he work or works. We would add the S because he is singular. So let's read this sentence using the correct verb. He works on jets and airplanes. If we were to say he work on jets and airplanes, that doesn't sound right. So we know that when it's a singular pronoun, except for I and you, we're going to add the S. So singular pronouns like he, she, or it, because it's only talking about one. For the next 3, let me type that in. We used works for this one. A little bit higher. For the next 3 sentences, you have the pronoun I for number 4, you have the pronoun they, and you have the pronoun I again. Actually, I'm going to move this up. Hold on. there's a seventh one down here. I want you to do that seventh one. Okay, so we have these four sentences. This one has I, this one has they, this one has I, and this one has she as our subject pronouns. I want you to decide which one of the verbs goes with each of our pronouns. So in your notebook, you don't have to write out the whole sentence. I just want you to write the pronoun with the correct verb. Okay, so you're going to either write I with think or I with thinks, they with tell or they with tells. Same thing with the next two sentences. Write the pronoun, the subject pronoun, with the correct verb that it agrees with. Go ahead and pause the video, do these numbers 4 through 7, and then play the video when you're done. Okay, so let's see. If you have I, remember I is one of the singular ones that we add the S, that we do not add the S to. So for this one, you should have said, I think. That would be a hard job to do. For number 5, we have they. They is plural. There's more than one. So they, we do not add the S. They tell our class about the importance of reading. For number 6, we have the I again. When it's I, we do not add the S. So I see a speaker dressed like an astronaut. For number 7, you had a singular pronoun, she. There's only one, so we do add the S. She explains what she does on spacewalks. So remember, let me go back up to our top. If it lets me. Hold on, guys. There we go. So remember, if we have, excuse me, we add that S and ES if we have a singular pronoun like he, she, or it. So if it's singular pronoun, add the S or the ES. If it is a plural pronoun like we, you, or they, then we do not add the S or the ES. So plural pronouns, no S or ES. Also, if we have I or you as singulars, then we do not add the I. So anytime you have you or I, you do not add S. But if you have a singular pronoun, he, she, it, then you do add the S or the ES. Okay, so remember singular, add the S unless it's I or you. Plural, do not add the S.